Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining my channel in Walking into the Light. This is Ryan Nolan. It is a great evening tonight. Hopefully, everyone's having a great night and being safe. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, comment, or share. In the description box below, there's a donation link if you're interested in doing that. And if you do that, I greatly appreciate it. But most importantly, I'm just glad that you're able to join this channel. I have something really important that I wanted to talk about today because as you may have listened to other videos of the past, I've talked about spiritual battles between light versus dark and how we've gotten to a point where light has prevailed, but darkness understands that their time here is limited and there's demonic, entities on this planet currently that are in positions of power that are diminishing. Their power is diminishing by the minute, and they're eventually going to be thrown off of this planet for good. So there's a moment in time right now where they understand what's inevitable, and they're going to try to bring as many souls as they can with them. And I just wanted to get this word out there because this is something God wanted me to express to the world, to people that are willing to listen, and let people be aware of the situation at hand, because this is a very, very important time to be protected from any type of evil spirits and to understand really what's going on from, what the truth is really. So the truth of the matter is that there's about 144,000, or there is 144,000 divine beings on the planet. This was intentionally done by God to raise the consciousness level of humanity during this very crucial period of time. And that's because darkness has been on this planet for way too long, for thousands of years, and it's plagued us from a consciousness standpoint. And they've developed, technology, they've developed chemicals, they developed ways to incorporate these chemicals in our food. They use whatever they can possibly use in order to subdue our consciousness level so that we're not able to be aware of our true power, what we're able to do, within ourselves, the true manifestation powers that we have. And that's caused us to get to a point where God needed to really intervene and have an influx of divine beings on this planet. Like I said, 144,000 of them. And these divine beings are currently located all across the world, trying to raise and they are successfully raising the consciousness level of humanity and Earth. And the reason I wanted to talk about this was to let those people that might be listening into this video as well, those divine beings, those chosen ones, those ones that are being targeted by darkness at this moment, that we're all family. And, I think it's important for us to share our experiences so that we understand that we're all in this together. And even if you're not one of the 144,000, being part of the human collective is part of the same family. So I just wanted to put out there that there is targeting going on right now by darkness among these divine beings. And they're doing it through black magic, spell work. They're doing it through technology. They're doing it through music. They're doing it through sound alteration so that people aren't able to increase their consciousness. There's military equipment and technology that's being used covertly from bunkers underneath the ground. And then there's also planes that are flying overhead that are using technology to subdue the consciousness level and suppress that consciousness level of these targeted individuals. And I know this because I've had to go through this as well. And I just wanted to share my experience too, because I think it's important for everyone to understand these experiences so that we don't feel like we're alone. And then those that are not part of the 144,000, it's important to know what's going on so that you can also be aware of the situation at hand. So if you are part of the 144,000, you are probably surrounded by people that you thought were your loved ones, that you thought actually cared about you, that you thought, had your best interests at heart for most of your life, only to find out more recently over the last few years, or even more recently than that, maybe over the last year or two, that these people are actually demons. And that's exactly what I wanted to talk about. The devil is using people closest to these targeted individuals. They're using people that are low in vibration. So they were reincarnated here or have been on this planet for a very long time and have had a very low consciousness level and low vibrational level. And that allows demons to be able to possess the bodies of these individuals that are closest to the targeted divine beings. And the divine beings don't know that this is happening because at a very early age, from the time they were born until, into their adult life, they're surrounded by family members and friends that they think are closest to them that are actually, friends and family that we all believe to be close to us. But behind the scenes and behind closed doors, these demons that are possessing the bodies of these close relatives and friends are targeting these individuals with black magic, with spell work, with voodoo, witchcraft, and all of the dark arts that you could possibly think of behind the scenes. And what they're doing is having groups and groups of people targeting one individual. So this one individual has no idea their whole life that they've been targeted, and they feel like there's something wrong with them, and they have to accept the fact that they're having a difficult life that's, filled with pain and suffering. And they tend to believe, because they're empaths, and that's the other thing, is a lot of these individuals that are divine are empaths. So that means that they feel the emotions very highly of people around them, and they're like sponges, and they absorb the energy from their environment. So these people, instead of looking outside of themselves and blaming other people for their suffering, they blame themselves, because that's what empaths tend to do. And that's all part of the plan that Satan has, is to target these individuals, to gang up on them, to bully them, to use the justice system and law enforcement to go after these people, to put fake reports into law enforcement, so that these people get arrested unlawfully, they get harassed by police unlawfully. They even gang stalk these individuals, which is what happened to me, which is something that I had to deal with my own family, where they were getting people that they just got off the street. I don't know where they got these people from, but these people were getting paid to follow me wherever I went, whatever I was doing. I'd have people following me, just trying to get me to a point where I would quit trying to follow the purpose that God had put me on this planet for, which is to help raise the vibrational frequency of this planet. And that was their whole plan, was to get these, that was part of their plan, was to get gang stalkers to come after me. And I know that's happening to other people as well, is that, and even if you're not part of the 144,000, there are people that are being targeted by Satan, by the devils. And like I said, the devil knows he's going to lose, but he's trying to bring as many souls down with him as he possibly can. So he's throwing everything at the wall right now to see what sticks. And part of that is the gang stalking. And so I just want people to be aware that you're not alone. If you're experiencing this, I feel for you. I know what you're going through. I know it's a very difficult situation, but God's going to get you through it, just like he got me through it. And with prayer and with faithfulness and understanding that everything that you're experiencing is exactly the way that it should be, and that no matter what happens, your destiny is in God's hands, and that it's only an illusion to believe that the gang stalking, the witchcraft, and the spell work that's being done to you is going to make any difference. It's not. And I think most people know that, but it can be difficult at times where you feel like, things could change or your destiny could get altered in some way, but that's all an illusion. That's another thing that the enemy does too, outside of spell work, black magic, and voodoo, and all the things that I mentioned behind closed doors towards targeted individuals, is they use other forms of dark magic. They do other things. They use poisons. They use chemicals to put in people's foods. There's certain chemicals that people place in people's food that can subdue the consciousness level of that person. So bringing back to the example of someone that's growing up surrounded by people that are trying to hurt this person and they don't know it, a lot of times these people are putting stuff in their food. They're putting chemicals in their food to subdue that consciousness level of that person. And this is all, once again, as an attempt to bully onto one person, to gang up on one person, and that one person, absorbing all of the energy, all that negative energy, as something that they've created for themselves. And what tends to happen in that moment in time is that that person who absorbs the energy because they're an empath and believes that they're suffering because of their own bad decision making, and because they may not necessarily be a good person, they start blaming themselves. When they do that, they manifest that reality as well, because they are divine beings and they are able to rapidly manifest through their imagination. Now, if they're not able to use their imagination and they're drowning in fear, that's exactly what they're going to do as well. They're going to breathe that fear into their life, because they're still manifesting, but it's not love and light. It's actually fear, which is all an illusion to begin with. But they're unaware of that because they're so subdued in their consciousness from an early age, from their childhood until their adult life. I wanted to share this because this is something that I had to go through my life. From an early age, I had family members that were surrounding me that were using black magic, voodoo, spell work, all sorts of dark arts in order to target me And I had family members that, I wasn't really that close to, that were kind of an extension of my immediate family. And they were in remote locations throughout, the United States. And I didn't really see them that often at all. And they were still part of this karmic family that was coming after me that I was completely unaware of. And it's not something that you could ever understand or unveil to yourself unless you're close to God, because there'd be no way to know. There's no way to know that could be happening. One person could not be able to figure that out unless God intervenes. That's the only way. And that was, with, the faithfulness towards God and his faithfulness towards me, I was able to get through it. And I just want to provide this as a point of inspiration for people that are going through the same thing, to let you know that God is with you, and that the things that you're going through when it comes to all of this stuff you're not alone. And one more thing that I wanted to mention was just the extent of the amount of dark magic that these people do to myself, and then maybe some of the people that are listening in, is they focus on the law enforcement within the local area. They focus on the judicial system. They focus on healthcare, and they focus on the educational system. And there's other areas too that they focus on, but those are probably the bigger ones. And they tamper with health records. Satan is completely involved within the healthcare system throughout the United States. If you notice, a lot of the religious hospitals have a Freemason symbol on them, and that is intentional, because a lot of the providers, the administrators, and the decision makers within that health system are Freemasons and part of that secret society. So they use black magic and spell work and all those types of things for a variety of reasons on the public. So, and that's what happened to me, and I'm sure that's what's happened to other people, is that people are being targeted unknowingly, and they're being targeted in sectors of the community and sectors of the society that you would never suspect that could ever happen. Because like, for instance, if you think of healthcare, you would think that's a neutral, sector. There's not going to be any evil, or, it's just going to be neutral. And you're going to have people that are in that industry and in that field that have the best interest of the people that are coming in there that are sick, that need help. And it's the exact opposite. In those areas where people need the help the most, with, like, for instance, healthcare. Or even another example would be homelessness. A lot of people are vulnerable when it comes to homelessness because they have nowhere to go, and they really rely on people in power within their community, whether it be city councilmen, city council women, people within the local and state authorities, to have their back and provide social programs that benefit their needs and help them get out of the situations that they're in. But Satan is completely involved in those areas because he knows he wants to attack the most vulnerable, to keep them into a position where they never have any hope. And it's also a way to get people that are higher consciousness into that situation. So an example would be to go after someone that is maybe, making good money, that is maybe like an executive at a company. And all of a sudden, Satan is, wants to target this individual, and he wants to make this person homeless by, getting them involved with law enforcement and putting in false reports with law enforcement to get him arrested. Next thing you know, he's lost his job. Next thing you know, he's lost his family. Next thing you know, he is getting out of prison and he's trying to find a new job. And it snowballs from there. And the whole point of it is to make this person who's got a high consciousness level in the most vulnerable state, so that Satan can take advantage of him and make sure that he never gets out of that hole. And that's, really the whole purpose of what his plan is, to keep this consciousness level as low as it has been for a long period of time on this planet. But it's not going to work. Like I said, light has prevailed. God is here, and he's saving us from all of this madness. And it's already happened. It's already done. And everything's unfolding exactly as it should. I just wanted to express this to let people know that you're not alone if you're going through the gang stalking and all of this other stuff behind the scenes. And for those that have not been aware of this going on, I think it's important for you to know just how extensive, this evil has been on this planet for a long period of time, and how comprehensive it is. Meaning, what is it? Where has all this evil actually gone within society? And it's infiltrated every area of our society. because every area of our society was needed by Satan in order to bring humanity down. And, that's what his plan was, but it did not work, like I said. So that's really all I have to say for this evening. I hope everyone's having a great night. God bless you. Stay prayed up. Like I said, this is a very important time to stay close to the Lord, because evil is going down, and they're going to try to bring as many souls as they can with them. But don't let that happen by making sure that you are close to God. I love you all. God bless you. Have a good evening.